Hey everyone! Alright, we are on day 6 from broke to booked out, and I am wearing a spicy top today. Now I look naked. Oh my god. Alright, so this is day 6, and we are talking all about building your bases, which is the thing that most of us probably don't want to do when I work with my clients. It's a lot of like, I don't really want to talk about that kind of thing, building your bases. I just want to show me the money, right? But building your bases is actually, it's kind of like setting the foundation for your business. So building your bases means setting a foundation for your business so you can continue to build off of that and make more money. Right, right. But what I will say is that most of us skip over this step because it's not, maybe it's just not as exciting, or you don't see the immediate results. And building your bases and setting a foundation is something that needs consistent action, and you have to take consistent action in order to build your bases and get your foundation. But building your bases is actually amazing. Like, it's the thing that will set you apart from everyone else, right? So this is broke to booked out, day 6. Yesterday, this is kind of coming off of yesterday's video if you didn't see that. Oh no, I'm sorry, day 7. Day 7. I have to edit that in the title. But yesterday was day 6, and on yesterday's video we were talking about creating a marketing strategy. And in the marketing strategy I said, okay, set your goal, set what you want to hit, and then from there you're going to kind of come up with some ways to bring some people to you, right? So now in day 7 I'm talking about how you can bring those people to you and how you can build your base and the foundation for your business. So in order to have a foundation, in order to hit those big months that we want, whether they're 10K or 20K, book 5 clients, get booked out, all that stuff, we have to actually have people know us. Like, people actually have to know that we exist. People have to know who we cater to. People have to know what makes us different from everybody else. So building your foundation is when you take the first step to say, hello world, here is who I am. I know that's not a statement. Here I am, here's who I love to serve, and this is how I work with people. It could also be, this is how I'm different from people, all right? So it's kind of like, this is what I do, this is who I serve, this is how I'm different, all right? And then the way we build the base, the way we build the foundation of our business is, of course, by then spreading the word about that and getting in front of people so they know who you are, what you do, how you're different from everybody else, and who you serve, right? So how do you do that as a professional? Most of us in here are wedding professionals, creative professionals in some type of way. And how do you do that? Like, how do you build this space if like nobody knows who you are? It's actually pretty simple. We just get in front of people. Now, most of you guys are thinking, well, Shannon, I don't have enough Instagram followers, I don't have enough Facebook likes, I don't have this. But you guys totally forget about the part where you can use other people's platforms in order to get yourself known, right? So using other people's platforms looks like guest posting. So doing a guest blog post on someone else's blog, on another blog that has a lot more people, a lot more likes, a lot more Instagram followers than you do. So when you write the blog post, you write in the way of getting yourself known as this type of person who serves this types of clients, and also what makes you kind of different, showing your expertise and showing your education. So writing a blog post is one way to build your foundation. Another way to build your foundation is to show up in Facebook groups, showing up, giving people information about things that you need. Now, most of you guys here that are wedding professionals think, oh, I should only show up in Facebook groups that are for brides. But guys, let's totally remember, let's not forget how you probably get most of your clients. A lot of ways that wedding professionals get most of their clients are through referrals. So through connections in the industry. So don't think that you just have to post in Facebook groups where brides are. And a lot of brides in those Facebook groups, I would probably say just to steer clear of them, because a lot of them are DIY, are budget brides. I wouldn't expect to see a bride who wants to spend a hefty amount on her wedding, or who has, maybe family funding her wedding and she has a hefty amount, to be spending a majority of her time in Facebook groups DIYing things. I actually don't think that there is a high end, if you're looking for a high end clientele, I don't think that they exist in those bridal Facebook groups. Feel free to comment on the video and prove me wrong and say like, hey Shannon, I found, a lot of high end brides in these Facebook groups. That's just my 2 cents, all right? But what I mean by showing up in Facebook groups is you show up there consistently, and again, sharing your education, sharing your knowledge, sharing the thing that makes you different from everybody else, sharing who you love to work with, sharing what you do, so you show up in front of those connections and referrals that you can make. And people will say, oh, hey, I know someone who caters only to that, right? Like, I'll give you guys an example. Since I'm always talking about money and marketing, and I'm talking about working with wedding professionals a lot, I show up in Facebook groups and give information around money, around marketing. I talk a lot about wedding professionals. I talk about their successes with me. I talk about, my success as a wedding professional and all that other stuff. So when people say, oh, hey, I'm a wedding professional looking for help with money and marketing, guess who's gonna be the first person that they think of? Just a random person. And I have actually been told by someone who contacted me last week and said, hey, you were the most shouted out business coach I've seen in the Rising Tide Society. And I was like, that's awesome. Thank you so much. That's really cool. But it's because I made myself known as I am the coach for these things, for these types of people, right? And I did that by just showing up. And I use other people's platforms, because my Facebook group is not 60,000 like Rising Tide or other Facebook groups that have 10,000 or 15,000 people in them. My Facebook group is not that big yet. It will be eventually, but for right now, I can use someone else's platform to build mine off of, right? So it's kind of the same idea as guest posting. Now, also building your foundation can look like, so we talked about guest posting. You could be a guest on a podcast. You could be, we did guest. There's so many different ways. You could do a live video in someone else's group. You guys could do a collaboration. You could do something called a telesummit with 10 other wedding professionals, where you talk about planning your wedding, things brides need to know. There's just so many different ways, but the part is building your bases looks like I'm building the foundation to my business. So I'm getting my name out there. I'm getting known as this type of person. I'm getting known that I serve these types of clients. And I'm just trying to get that in front of as many people as possible. I'll tell you guys, I think it was this past 2 months, I did a Twitter chat with Julie Alba of the Wedding Market. I was on a podcast episode with Heidi of Evolve Your Wedding Business. I did 2 blog posts for girls who, one owns a graphic design business, one owns a copy business. I did another blog post for a photography education blog. I did another blog post for another photographer, and then she got out there. So I'm trying to build my foundation with as many different people and get in front of as many different people as I can, right? So if my platform is smaller, I'm going to collaborate with other people and use other people's platforms to get my name out there as I am this type of person for these types of things. So that's really what building your bases and building your foundation looks like. So most of us, for the most part, when we kind of get into this world, are thinking, well, how do I get, we're all just thinking in terms of the money, right? How do I make this much money? How do I make this much money and stuff like that? And I think that we always forget that there is the little thing of time. Sometimes it's not like you can shoot right out the cannon and be a 6-figure entrepreneur. This takes time. You have to build a reputation. You have to build a following. You really have to find clarity around exactly who you want to serve. You have to find clarity around how you want to package. how do you want to do your services, you know? You have to find clarity around what exactly are you super passionate about in your business. You know, is it this aspect or that aspect? Like, what is the thing you're really super passionate about? And then it's the time to build the foundation and build the bases and get your name known. Like, that just, honestly, guys, that can just take time. But if you're always trying to skip over the part of the foundation of building the base, of getting your name known, of getting clarity around your ideal clients, around getting clarity around exactly how you like to work, then you will just always end up in this thing, which is like the spinning phase. I'm spinning, I'm stuck, I'm spinning, and I'm stuck, which kind of looks like I feel like I'm going 100 miles an hour. I feel like I have a lot of stuff to do, but I feel like I have no clients or money to show for it. And that's when you're trying to, like, kind of, you're pressing on the gas, right, in a car, and your wheels are spinning. Like, they're not moving, you know? And that's because you haven't taken the time to, like, build the base and build the foundation and say, okay, this is what I love to do. This is how I work. And then I'm going to go. You know, once you get that down, then you can put, you know, your foot on the pedal to the gas and go as fast as you want and speed if you want to. But first, we need to actually know, like, how to drive the car. Like, what am I doing and how am I serving and what do my ideal clients look like and how exactly do I want to work with people? And if you're still stuck on that part of who is my ideal client, how do I want to serve them? I think the best thing you can do is, if you're just unclear about that and you don't even know how to build your base because you still don't have that piece down yet, and I think the best thing you can do is to really just journal around these things. Some of my favorite ways, I mean, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know, my message has evolved and it's become very clear and it's become, I don't know how else to put it, but I feel very passionate about my message now than what I did, say, like a year ago. And I think the passion about my business came about because I just kind of said to myself, if I was to do my business in a way that made me entirely happy all the time and I was super passionate about it, what are the things I would be doing? And from that, I kind of found that it looked totally different. I put all these restrictions upon myself of how my business needed to look, and it needed to fit in this, like, little box, and I needed to act this way, and I needed to post these things, and I needed to create these courses or these things because my clients will only do those things and they'll only pay for that, and I put myself in this box and I hated it, and I hated the box. So which led me to not showing up as much in my business. It led me to not feeling passionate about my business. It led me to not working with, like, not calling out the ideal clients that I wanted to work with or whatever. Like, just being, you know, putting myself in this box of this is how my business has to look, led me to not finding clarity around things that build your base, like the clients you want to work with, the way you want to serve, how you want to serve them. And putting myself in that box was like, why am I doing this? This is my business, and this is the thing I really want to make work, and this is the thing I want to have fun with. But I was always just putting myself in this, like, business has to look this way. Business has to be this way. I have to only share these things because this is what my clients want. And when I broke free of that box, which I have been doing probably, like, really, really just breaking out of it for the past month, I would say, and just creating what I really, really love to create and just talking about what I love to talk about, I found that my videos get more engagements. I'm getting more comments. I'm getting people coming out of the woodwork, joining my Facebook groups. I've created a training which almost has 100 people in it already. And it's amazing to see and think, why didn't I just do this sooner? Why didn't I just, you know, say, this is what I want my business to look like, and this is how I really love to work? Why didn't I just do that sooner? Like, that would have been so much easier. But it's easy for us to put a box around our business. It's easy for us to even put ourselves, like me, in a box of, this is how I'm supposed to be, and this is what I'm supposed to do, and this is how I'm supposed to serve, and I need to only put up posts like this, and I need to only talk about this, and I need to only talk about that. I used to think like everybody just wanted to hear about like SEO and whatever and little things like that. And of course those things are helpful, right? But the real transformational change, which I know to be true because I'm going through it personally myself, comes from not the actions I need to take, but it's who I need to be, right? And for you guys, who you need to be might be, I need to be a person who's consistent with social media. I need to be a person who shows up more. I need to be the person that follows up when people go crickets. I need to be the person who sells my stuff more, you know? It could also be, I need to be the person who's 110% herself all the time and not putting herself in a box like I was doing, right? So when we talk about like how does all of this relate to building your bases, you have to have the idea down of this is how I want to serve, right? And that's what I'm getting very clear on, breaking out of my box of this is how I want to serve, just in whatever way is fun and easy and passionate for me, you know, without putting restrictions upon myself of what my business is supposed to look like. So how I want to serve. Who do I really love to work with? Who are the people I really want to call out? And you know, what type of wedding do they have, or what type of person are they? What things are they into? And then also, so how I want to serve, who I want to serve, what makes you different? What's going to set you apart from every other photographer, calligrapher, wedding event planner? You know, what sets you apart from them? And think about that for a second. Go a little bit deeper with that. Not what sets your business apart. What sets you? Like, what about you, right? It's our businesses are us. I am my business. So if my brain is fucked here, my business is going to be fucked, right? And like, so for you, what sets you apart from all the other people? And I'm sure there's like, all of us are unique in our own way. Maybe you're like funny and sarcastic, or maybe you are like really detailed and you love details and you love little things like that. Or maybe you are just like loud and fun and bubbly, and that's what makes you a great wedding planner or something. You know, whatever it is, it probably is something about you that sets you apart from everybody else, all right? So how do you want to serve these people? What do your packages look like in a way that makes you super happy and probably makes your family happy too, you know? Add that part in. How you want to serve, who do you want to serve? What do your clients look like? And what sets you apart from everybody else, you know? Like, and I'm saying again, what sets you, not your business, not these titles, not this thing, blah, 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 your title, blah, 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 who cares? What sets you apart from everybody else? Because everybody is unique in their own ways, right? I swear, and I'm sarcastic, and I can embarrass myself, and I don't care, like, I don't give a shit. But there's a lot of people who do give a shit about those things. But this is like what makes me me, right? And if you don't like people swear, and you don't like people are sarcastic, and you want people to come off prim and proper all the time, I'm sure there's like 10 other thousands of other coaches you could follow who do that, right? But that's what sets me apart from everybody else. I'm also a little bit of a hard ass in that I really lay it. I smack down a lot of my clients, right? So that's the thing about me that actually sets my business apart, okay? So those are the kinds of the things you need to build that base. And then what we talked about was once you have those things very clear, building your base then can look like guest posting on so we use someone else's platform that's bigger than ours right now to make ourselves known as that person. To make ourselves known, I'm this person, I serve these people, this is how I work with people. So you use other people's platforms that are bigger than yours, like a blog, like the Huffington Post, like a big wedding blog, like lots of other millions of other wedding blogs, and you do guest posting for them. It could also be that you show up in Facebook groups consistently, sharing your message, sharing what you know, sharing who you are, and kind of making that very clear in all those Facebook groups. Because again, referrals are probably how a lot of you guys are making more weddings and getting more clients. So don't just think you have to show up in bride-focused Facebook groups, okay? Like the actual connection of connecting with other vendors and other people is really important. So you could be a podcast guest. You could do a telesummit with a whole bunch of other wedding professionals and do a challenge with a whole bunch of them. So you guys are all using your different platforms. You could, I mean, there's so many things. You could try to get on like local TV stations near you. You could get on national TV stations, which I have a podcast coming out about Julie Alba from the Wedding Market talked to me about how you guys can then get on local TV and national TV outlets. You can go on radio shows. You can, I mean, there's just, think of someone else's platform that's bigger than yours right now, and then you get on it, and then you share who you are, who you serve, and what you do that sets you apart, and that's a base. That's the base to your business. It might seem boring, but it is how you actually can then start to get momentum to speed up and get to those big months and big clients and whatever you want. All right, guys, I have to run and get to a call, but the 6-week boot camp is closing this weekend. It is closing for enrollment this weekend. It is 6 weeks to marketing and money and getting you fucking like skyrocketed out. It is going to be so much fun. I'm really, really excited about this boot camp because it's the first boot camp I've been hosting since doing my own personal transformation of becoming consistent, of developing habits, of developing the habit of self-discipline. Yes, I am actually self-disciplined now. So if you guys would love to become self-disciplined because it leads you to more money and wealth, then join the 6 weeks marketing and money badass boot camp. So excited for it to start. It does close this weekend though. Again, one seat is $9.97 and I have a payment plan. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.